he was raised in a palace, groomed for glory, a prince of the most powerful empire the ancient world had ever known. But destiny had other plans. This is the story of a man who walked away from everything, and then walked back into the fire. A humble shepherd who stood toe-to-toe with the greatest ruler on earth, armed with nothing but a wooden staff and the word of the Almighty. This is the story of Moses versus Pharaoh. For 40 years, Moses lived within the walls of Egyptian royalty. Fine linen, golden halls, the privileged silence of a man who never had to suffer. But beyond those walls, his people were bleeding. The Israelites, God's chosen, were breaking their backs under the crack of Egyptian whips. Generation after generation born into chains, into labor, into hopelessness. Moses saw it, and something inside him broke. In one explosive moment, he stepped in to defend a Hebrew slave, and took the life of an Egyptian taskmaster. The palace life was over. The prince became a fugitive, and the desert of Midian became his new home for the next 40 years. 40 years of silence. 40 years of open skies and wandering flocks. The man the world had forgotten was tending sheep on the backside of the wilderness when the impossible happened. A bush caught fire. But it didn't burn. The branches glowed, flickered, blazed, and remained perfectly whole. Moses drew closer. Then the voice came. Moses, remove your sandals. The ground where you stand is holy. It was the voice of God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he had a mission that could not be refused: return to Egypt. Confront the most powerful man alive. And bring his people home. Moses had every reason to say no. He was 80 years old. He stuttered. He was a wanted man. But he went. With his brother Aaron at his side and the staff of God in his hand, Moses walked straight back into the grand courts of Egypt, the very halls he had fled in shame, and stood before Pharaoh with a message that shook the empire. Thus says the Lord God of Israel, let my people go. Pharaoh laughed. He did not know the God of Israel. He did not fear him. And so, with cold arrogance, he hardened his heart, igniting a supernatural war the likes of which the world had never seen. What followed was not just a series of disasters. It was a systematic, deliberate dismantling of everything Egypt worshipped. Each plague was a direct strike against one of their gods. The great Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, worshipped as a deity, turned to thick, dark blood. Fish died. The stench rose across the land. Then came the frogs, crawling into beds, into bread, into every corner of every home. Then lice. Then flies. Then a devastating plague that swept through Egypt's livestock. Boils erupted on skin. Fire and hail rained from the heavens, destroying crops and shattering trees. Then came the locusts, a sky-darkening swarm that devoured everything the hail had left behind. And then, darkness. 3 days of suffocating, oppressive, supernatural darkness. The kind you could feel. Still, Pharaoh would not break. Until the final plague. The one that cost Egypt everything. In the silence of a single night, death moved through the land, passing over every home without the blood of a lamb on its doorpost, and taking the firstborn son. From the lowest servant to the crown prince in Pharaoh's own house, no one was spared. Egypt wailed. And Pharaoh, broken and trembling, finally said the words. Go. Millions of Israelites poured out of Egypt. Men, women, children, livestock, everything they owned. After 400 years of bondage, they were free. But freedom was short-lived. Pharaoh's grief turned to rage. His pride would not allow it. He unleashed the full force of his military, 600 elite chariots and the finest soldiers in the ancient world, screaming through the desert in pursuit. The Israelites looked up and saw the dust clouds rising behind them. Then they looked ahead, and saw the Red Sea. Wide, deep, impassable. Panic erupted through the camp. Millions of voices crying, screaming, questioning, why did you bring us out here to die? And Moses, standing at the edge of the impossible, turned to his people and said, do not be afraid. Stand firm. The Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still. God told Moses to raise his staff over the water. He obeyed. A fierce wind roared across the sea all through the night. And then, the water moved. Not just waves. Not just ripples. The entire sea split open. Two massive, towering walls of water rose on either side, and between them stretched a path of dry ground cutting straight through the heart of the sea. The Israelites walked through. Walls of ocean rising to their left. Walls of ocean rising to their right. Millions of people crossing on dry ground in the middle of the deep. When the last of them reached the other side, Moses stretched his hand over the sea once more. The walls collapsed. The water came crashing back, swallowing Pharaoh's chariots, his horses, his army, into the depths of the sea. Not one of them survived. And on the other side, the Israelites stood in stunned, breathless silence. They were free. Truly, finally free. The story of Moses is not just ancient history. It's a message for anyone who has ever felt trapped, by circumstances, by their past, by problems too big to overcome. Because the same God who parted a sea for a nation of slaves is still in the business of making a way where there is no way. If this story stirred something in you, if it strengthened your faith or encouraged your heart, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Every share helps us bring more of these timeless, powerful Bible stories to life. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.